Ever feel super motivated at night, but by morning, it's all gone? You make plans, dream big, get excited to start, and then quit just a few days in. You're not lazy. You just haven't learned this yet. Real success doesn't come from motivation. This story isn't about a superhero. It's about a regular kid from a quiet little town and one simple lesson that changed his life forever. This is the story of Eli, and why he chose to become the one who winds the gears every day instead of waiting for motivation to show up. In a quiet seaside town called Lantern Hill, the streets lit up every night with old lanterns hanging high on both sides, still shining thanks to an old-fashioned winding system. And in that town lived a boy named Eli Morgan. Eli was 15, lived with his parents in a small house perched right on the edge of a cliff. He loved to draw, dreamed of becoming an architect, and was always talking about the buildings he'd design. But Eli had one big problem. And honestly, everyone could see it. He never stuck with anything longer than 3 days. Every time he got inspired, he'd go all in. One day it was sketching buildings, the next day learning Italian, then jogging with his dad. But give it a few days, and it'd all fade away. His room was a mess of half-used sketch pads, dried-out markers, and unfinished books. A graveyard of things started but never finished. One April afternoon, Eli went with his mom to drop off some pastries at the old town hall. That's where he ran into Mr. Jennings, the town's oldest lantern keeper. Every single evening, Mr. Jennings walked through the streets, winding up each lantern by hand, making sure they'd shine until sunrise. Eli, curious, asked, "Why do you still do this, sir? I mean, doesn't it get boring?" "Just the same thing. Over and over." Mr. Jennings gave a little smirk, his hand still working on the rusty old lantern. "You see that light up there?" "Yeah, I do." "That's because I wound it yesterday, and the day before that, and for the past 40 years." Eli frowned a bit. "But what if one day you're tired, or just not feeling it?" Mr. Jennings placed the lantern back on its hook and said, "If I waited to feel inspired to do this job, this whole town would have been in the dark at least. 200 nights a year. Lanterns don't run on inspiration. They run on the hands that wind them." That hit Eli harder than any motivational video he'd ever watched. That night, Eli opened his sketchbook and wrote on the very first page, "No more letting feelings decide for me. From today on, I'm the one winding the gears." He set a small goal. 1 sketch a day. Didn't have to be perfect, just had to exist. Day 1, a simple wooden cabin. Day 2, a curvy bridge across a stream. Day 10, a tiny street lined with flower-filled windows. Day 30, not a single day missed, and strangely enough, the more disciplined he became, the more inspiration showed up. But after he started working, not before. That summer, Lantern Hill hosted a design competition for teens called The Town of Tomorrow. Eli submitted his entry, a thick portfolio full of pencil sketches, layout plans, and cutaway drawings. When it was his turn to present, one of the judges asked, "Eli, how did you stay motivated for 2 whole months to finish this project?" He smiled and said, "I didn't stay motivated, I stuck to my schedule." The crowd chuckled, but the judges nodded with quiet approval. Eli didn't just win first place, he also got an internship offer from an architecture firm all the way in New York City. When he got home, he printed out a big sign and taped it to his wall. "Inspiration is a reward, not a requirement." And every morning, before breakfast, he'd wind up the small clock on his desk. A quiet little reminder that things don't run on inspiration. They run on consistency. Final takeaways. Don't wait to feel good before you work. Work first. The good feeling will follow. Success doesn't need a perfect start. It just needs a system you stick to. Inspiration isn't fuel. It's smoke. What keeps the engine going, is discipline. Just like the old lanterns of Lantern Hill, they only shine when someone shows up to wind them, and that someone is you.